What I'm teaching you today, Keba Eskevivala, is spiritual intelligence. This is not a sermon. What's the use of sermons? So you then begin to see, because you are defined and rewarded by the covenants that are committed to you. What has been committed to you? And what God commits to you comes to you in many facets. It comes to you through prophecy. It comes to you through your bloodline. When we talk about bloodline, many times we talk about bloodline in light of curses. But do you realize there are blessings in bloodlines? Do you realize that there are families that were raised to be kings? And many of the families that worship strange gods and carry the priesthood of demonic altars, many of them were designated by God to carry priesthood. It is their gift that Satan uses. Their gifts to see into the spirit realm. Their gifts to understand how to service altars. Their gifts to understand the melody that opens the spirit realm. Satan takes all of that natural inclination. He possesses it and he uses it to build his own altar. Many of those families were raised to be priests for God. Do you understand that the commitment to you is also through your bloodline? Some of you, heaven is waiting and saying, when will you claim the mantle of leadership that I gave to your grandmother? It says, Timothy, this same faith that was in your grandmother, Lois, and was in your mother, is now at work in you. It tells you that faith is not just the substance of things hoped for. Faith is a substance. A substance that can be seen, that can be felt, and is transferable to another generation. God is waiting and saying, where is that mantle in Kenya? The forefathers of faith in this land, they fought for Kenya to be a gate in Africa, for Kenya to be a voice coming out of the east, flowing as Pishon, Gihon, Hiddekel, and Euphrates, for the fruits of this land to be beautiful and sweet, as a prophetic representation that Kenya is meant to be an Eden, that out of this land should flow the rivers of God to the ends of the earth. Fathers labored, moved from county to counties, raised dangerous prophetic prayers, opened gates in the spirit, broke doors open so that you might walk in it. And God is saying, do you recognize the bloodline that flows through this church? Do you remember what the father of this house labored for? You are fighting for a leadership position, fighting inside department. When Bishop Alan started this ministry, was that what he prayed for? Was that what he wept for? Was that what he cried for? Do you even know the spiritual inheritance that was labored for to give to you? Many of you do not have bone in the spirit. Never commanded an altar or opened a gate. Whilst you are sitting in a house that carries the inheritance of opening gates and breaking open portals that never existed before their time. And yet you cannot break simple culture. A testimony of breaking the hand of poverty and entering into wealth. And yet you cannot tell that if he did it, then it has become your inheritance. Many sons have become the shame and the snare of their fathers. Not because the fathers did not labor, but because the sons have refused to enter the fruitfulness of the labor of the fathers. Then some enter into it and they insult the fathers. And God said, remind my people that you may see the promised land. You may enter the promised land, but you cannot keep the promised land if you do not honor the fathers and the mothers who gave you the weight that you now have. Bishop, this is not what I thought I would preach. I've not looked at my notes for once. Because I perceive in my spirit that the Holy Ghost has his own plan for this morning. And I perceive in my spirit that this church is shifting. It's shifting. It's shifting. There is a new kind of relevance that God is giving to JCC. And for it to be established, God needs to forcefully pull out a line of covenant that was promised to this house. You thought you had seen it before, but God is saying, I will walk with you the way I walked with Isaac. But the dimension of the expression in Jacob is not going to be the way it was with Abraham. He moved from tent to tent. Joseph built cities. There is a new day in this house. And a new womb is opened. So the contractions you will see are not problems. They are merely bed pangs that signal the new day. And when a new day comes, anyone that surrounds the birthing mother must know that it is not time to criticize how she screams. It is time to say, go. Mommy, push. Mommy, push. Because the coming seed is the glory of the family. Let he that had an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of God is saying. Jacob journeyed to Genesis 28. Stood right there. No prayer meeting, no night vigil, no holy communion, nothing. As a matter of fact, Jacob stood at Bethel, laying there as a finished man, a man of fear, a man of confusion, not knowing what the future held for him, unsure of what his tomorrow would look like, sent to an uncle's house that he probably had never experienced before. He saw a display of deceit in him. Somewhere in him, he felt like what I did to my brother, it was not good. But at the same time, he could not deny that he needed to do something to take the covenant. But also wondered, could there have been a better way? But there was no teacher. The only teacher he had was his mother, Rebecca. And we must understand that there was something about her bloodline. It was in her bloodline that men like Laban came out from. And the Bible records how Laban was a deceiver. And Laban changed Jacob's wages 10 times. Then we came into the house of Jacob. And Rebecca tried to help him secure the blessing. What did she do again? Deceit. You will deceive your brother and you will collect it from the father. And then you look at Jacob. How was he operating? Deceit. It tells you that there was something that was coming from that family line. From Laban to Rebecca to Jacob. Guess what? Rachel. Jacob is running with his family. And God says to Laban, don't touch him. Don't even say anything. And he said, no problem. When he saw Jacob, he said, I don't have any problem with you. The only issue I have is that you've taken the gods of my father's house. And he said, I didn't touch your God. Who took the gods? Who was sitting on top the gods? Rachel. From one generation to the next, deceit was established as a pattern out of that family line. So Jacob was not taught. The only teacher he had was a broken woman who was tutored by the gods of their house. Remember, Laban was a sorcerer. He said to Jacob, I have learned by divination that God has prospered me because of you. He didn't learn because he was worshiping Elohim. He knew by divination, reading of the sun, the stars, and the moon. That is the house that the woman that raised Jacob came from.